भक्त्यादि उदाहरणं यतीन्द्र प्रवणं वन्दे रम्यजामातरमणिं रम्यजामातरि योगीन्द्र पादरेखामयं सदा तदा यत्तात्मसत्तादिं रामानुजमुनिं भजे लोकाचार्याय गुरवे कृष्णपादस्य सूनवे संसारभोगि सन्दष्ट जीवजीवातवे नमः लोकगुरुं गुरुभिः सह पूर्वैः पुरकुलोत्तमदासमुदारं श्रीनगपत्यभिरामवरेशौ दीप्रशयं गुरुञ्च भजेऽहं दीप्रशयान गुरुञ्च भजेऽहं पुरुषकार वैभवञ्च साधनस्य गौरवं तदधिकारिकृत्यम् अस्य सद्गुरूपसेवनं हरिदयामहैतुकीं गुरोरुपायताञ्चयो वचनभूषणे वदज्जगद्गुरुं तमाश्रये. We worship Lokacharya, who brought out the most important principles through his wonderful prabandham bhUshaNam. This prabandham can be divided into 6 sections or 9 sections depending on the different viewpoints. Both viewpoints are acceptable by our acharyas. When it is divided into 6 sections, it talks about purushakAra vaibhavamum in the first section. It talks about the greatness of Pirati. Pirati is known as purushakAra Bhuta. She is the one who recommends us to Bhagavan and helps us reach him. So her greatness is highlighted in the first prakaranam or first section. In the second section, sadhanasya gauravam, the greatness of upAyam. Bhagavan is the upAyam in our sampradayam. In Shastram, it is clearly explained that Bhagavan himself gives us the ultimate goal. That which gives the ultimate goal, that is glorified as the process or upayam or means or sadhanam or prapakam and so on. All of these words mean the same thing. So, second section talks about greatness of Bhagavan being the means. And then third section talks about the one who pursues such Bhagavan, one who accepts such Bhagavan as the upayam and pursues him. Tad adhikari krityam. What is the duty, what is the responsibility of such person who pursues Bhagavan as the means? That is prapannadhikari or mumukshu, who is pursuing the path of sharanagati. Fourth section talks about asya sadguru upasevanam. This Bhagavan is not approached directly. When we approach Bhagavan, it could either succeed or fail depending on Bhagavan's will, because he is known as Sarva Swatantra. He cannot be controlled by anyone. Hence, when we approach Bhagavan directly, the result is not guaranteed. But when we approach Bhagavan through an acharya, a guru, a sadguru, a true guru, a bona fide guru who comes in the traditional guru parampara, having heard these principles by elders, from elders, and having anointed by the acharyas, previous acharyas, such guru, how to serve such guru, how to show our gratitude towards such guru and serve him. That is explained in the fourth section. Haridayamahetukim, Bhagavan's mercy, which is given to Jivatmas, that is unconditional, that is costless. There is no specific effort which is done by the Jivatma which can trigger that mercy. It is a natural flowing mercy from Bhagavan to Jivatmas. Because Bhagavan considers all the Jivatmas as his own children, he wants to help all of them. Hence, he gives his mercy unconditionally. That particular aspect is highlighted in fifth section. And finally, sixth section is Guru Rupayatanchayo, the Guru being the ultimate means and ultimate end. Guru himself is glorified as the lotus feet of Bhagavan. Hence, worshipping Guru is not different from worshipping Bhagavan, but it is even greater, because worshipping Bhagavan's lotus feet is considered as the greatest desire and greatest goal for the Jivatma. Hence, the Guru, Acharya, being the lotus feet of Bhagavan, that particular mood of worshipping Guru as everything is glorified in the final section. These 6 principles are highlighted in the Srivachana bhUshaNam Divya Shastram. Srivachana bhUshaNam Divya Shastram is, as the name indicates, it's a beautiful haram or ornament or necklace or any special ornament which decorates the mumukshus. This was explained in the introduction section by Manavad Mamnigal that for a mumukshu, this Srivachana bhUshaNam, the beautiful collection of divine words of Purvacharyas, which is comprehended in a very nice way and composed in a beautiful way by Pillai and presented in the form of Srivachana bhUshaNam, is like the ornament for a mumukshu to always wear and meditate upon. So this Srivachana bhUshaNam, we have seen up to the 5th Sutram in the previous sessions. Now we'll be moving on to the 6th Sutram, where Pillai continues to explain these principles in a very nice way. We are enjoying the meanings for Srivachana bhUshaNam with the help of Manavad Mamnigal's divine Vyakhyanam, beautiful commentary. This Vyakhyanam is considered so great that it is greatly glorified by all our acharyas, and it is considered as one of the most important. This Srivachana bhUshaNam is considered as one of the most important granthams we all have to learn, along with the commentary of Manavada Mamnigal. Without the commentary of Mamnigal, we cannot understand the meanings clearly. So this combination of Pillai Lokacharya and Manavada Mamnigal in the form of through their Grantham, Srivachana bhUshaNam and its Vyakhyanam is considered as the most important glorious work literature for all of the Sri Vaishnavas. Let us continue on with the 6th Sutram. We have seen up to the 5th Sutram. Now we will continue on with the 6th Sutram. In the 5th Sutram, we saw the beginning of the first Prakaranam. The first 4 Sutrams are introduction to the Prabandham, to the Grantham. From the 5th Sutram, the content of the Grantham starts. The first section is purushakAra vaibhavamum, that is greatness of Pirati. For that, to go into that, Pillai Lokacharya explained in the 5th Sutram that with the help of through Sri Ramayanam, Sita Pirati, that is the one who remained in the prison of Lanka, her greatness is highlighted. And through Mahabharatam, the one who went as messenger, that is Bhagavan Sri Krishna, his greatness is explained. So that is the 5th Sutram. In the 5th Sutram's commentary, we saw all the wonderful explanations where even the choice of words of Pillai Lokacharya was beautifully elaborated by Mamnigal, that Pillai Lokacharya used iraNdAlum to indicate the compassion of Sri Mahalakshmi Tayar, the Periya Piratiyar. In the form of Sita Pirati, she went into the prison in Lanka. She got imprisoned on her own will. It was not Ravana's power or strength which imprisoned Pirati, but it was her own compassion, due to which she voluntarily went with Ravana, even though Ravana did not understand and tried to overpower Sita Pirati. Just as a mother will go along with the child even when the child is misbehaving, the mother accept that and mercifully and compassionately go along with the child and reform the child. Similarly, Pirati went along with Ravana, and she tried to reform Ravana, even though he did not get reformed due to his own sins. Pirati did put her own effort, but he was beyond reform because he was full of sins and he was totally against any dharmam. Hence, he ultimately succumbed. He was killed by Bhagavan, but she tried her best to reform him. Similarly, Tudu Ponavan Yetram, that means Bhagavan going as a messenger, that was also highlighted how Bhagavan took up the very lowly job of going as a messenger out of his own saulabhyam and compassion and his love towards Draupadi and Pandavas and so on. So all of these aspects were explained in the fifth sutram. Now we are moving on to sixth sutram. Sixth sutram's introduction. Let us see the introduction. First, in the beginning, Pililokacharya explained how the essence of Vedantam is determined using upabhrahmanams. Upabhrahmanams means Shruti, Smriti, Itihasa, Puranam. Shruti is upabhrahmyam. Smriti, Itihasa, Puranams are upabhrahmanam. Upabhrahmyam is the crisp one or the source moolam. Upabhrahmanam is elaboration or explanation. That is Smriti, Itihasa, Puranam. So, Vedam, which is divided into two parts, Purvakandam, Uttarakandam, Purvabhagam, Uttarabhagam, Karmakandam, Jnanakandam. These two are explained through, are determined through Smriti and Itihasams, Puranams. Purvabhagam, Karmakandam is determined or explained using Smriti, and Uttarabhagam, that is Jnanakandam, is determined using Itihasams and Puranams. That was explained before. That is the way Pililokacharya commenced the beautiful Grantham. Now, among those which were explained, how the principles of Vedantam, they are explained in this Itihasams and Puranams. That is the question here. For that, Pililokacharya starts explaining the answer in this sixth sutram. Basically, Pililokacharya is talking about the important principles of purushakAram and purushakArathvam and upAyathvam. These two principles are very, very important to understand from Vedantam, and these principles are clearly explained in Itihasams. First, he is going to explain the aspects of Itihasam because it is already explained that Itihasam is more authentic and more famous compared to Puranams, because Puranams were spoken by Brahma originally. Depending on his Sattva Gunam, Rajogunam, Tamogunam, different Puranams are categorized into Satvika Puranam, Rajasika Puranam, and Tamasika Puranam. But unlike that, Itihasams, they don't have such change of gunams or moods or qualities. The great sages, that is Valmiki Bhagavan and Vyasa Bhagavan, they spoke about greatness of Bhagavan through these Itihasams. Valmiki Bhagavan spoke about Bhagavan and Pirati in Sri Ramayanam, and Vyasa Bhagavan spoke about greatness of Bhagavan through Mahabharatam. So now the context is how the Vedanta principles are explained in Itihasam, and that is explained in this sixth sutram, starting with sixth sutram. Sixth sutram is ivai purushakAra vaibhavamum, upAya vaibhavamum, solliRRAyththu. ivai here means Sri Ramayanam and Mahabharatam. With the through these Itihasams, the greatness of purushakAram and greatness of upAyam, those are explained in these two granthams. That is the simple meaning for this particular sutram. Let us see Mamnigal's wonderful commentary. he goes on to explain in very elaborate way how purushakAram is explained and how upAyam is explained in these two granthams. Let us see the commentary of Mamunigal. That is, previously it was explained sirairandaval Tuduponavan Yatram. Sirairandaval Yatram means one who, the greatness of one who went into prison. And then Tuduponavan Yatram, one who went as a messenger, his greatness. Those particular aspects were explained in these two granthams, Sri Ramayanam and Mahabharatam. Now, first, Mamnigal explains about purushakAra vaibhavamum, greatness of Pirati, who is the purushakAra bhutha. purushakAram means recommendation generally. It has deeper meanings, but for us in English, we can understand, we can relate to it as recommendation. But Pirati does a lot more than just recommending. But lack of a better word, for lack of better word, we are using recommendation as a word for purushakAram. Adiyan already told that for many of these words, Sanskritam words, it is difficult to have an exact simple English translation, simple word, which reflects the same meaning. We have to settle for words which are commonly used, but then we have to go deeper and understand the meanings of the Sanskrita words. So here, Purushakaram. So for Chetanas, for Jivatmas, Bhagavan is not directly approachable. This is because Bhagavan is always looking at Shastram and acting based on Shastram. Now the Chetanas, the Jivatmas, they are filled with aparadhams. They are filled with mistakes. Because we have been in the samsaram, there is no beginning. We have been in this samsaram forever. Until now, we have been in samsaram. We don't know what happens in the next moment, but until now, we have been in the samsaram only. So there is no beginning for Bhagavan, there is no beginning for Atma, there is no beginning for samsaram. This has been going on forever. So all along, the Jivatmas have been committing mistakes. So all of these mistakes are present with the Jivatma, And because of this, the Jivatma cannot directly approach Bhagavan because they know, we all know, when we directly approach Bhagavan, he will look at all of our mistakes and say, you did this wrong, you did this wrong, so I'm going to have to punish you. So because of that, we are hesitating to go and approach Bhagavan. In this stage, Pirati, who is the mother of all Jivatmas, she has the Matrutva Sambandham. She has the motherly connection with all Jivatmas. Now, how does she get that Matrutva Sambandham? How does she become the mother of all Jivatmas? That is because all the Jivatmas are created by Bhagavan. Not created, but all the Jivatmas, they exist because of Jivatma. Usually we see in the Shastram, some places, even in Vyakhyanam, some places, the Jivatmas are having Karana Karya Bhavam. Bhagavan is Karanam and Jivatmas are Karyam. Usually, Karana Karya Bhavam means one which is created from another. But here, in the Jivatma's case, the Jivatma is eternal. Jivatma is not created at any time because this is fundamental principle which was explained by Bhagavan in Bhagavad Gita also. Bhagavan says in the Bhagavad Gita that Jivatma can neither be created nor be destroyed. And all of these principles are very straightforward. Still, in some places, this Karana Karya Bhavam is shown. That is because this is based on the existence of Jivatma is depending on Bhagavan. That is the Karana Karya. The Jivatma is existing because of Paramatma. Paramatma is present in all the Jivatmas, and that is how he sustains all of the Jivatmas. That Bhavam is present. So, because of this Karana Karya Bhavam, Bhagavan is considered as Jagat Pitha. He is the creator of all. He is the father of all. Because Pirati is Vishnu Patni, because she is the divine consort of Bhagavan, she becomes the mother of all Jivatmas. So this is how she gets the motherly relationship. It is not that she gave birth to all of the Atmas. That is not the case. But because Bhagavan sustains all Jivatmas, everyone's existence is based on Bhagavan. Because of that, he is considered as Jagat Pitta. Just like in a family, for example, maybe these days it does not apply fully, but traditionally the family is sustained by father. The father is the person who sustains the entire family. Similarly, this is a worldly example. Similarly, Bhagavan sustains all Atmas. Because of this sustaining aspect, he is the Karanam and everything else is Karyam. Because of him, we all exist. Because of this particular aspect, he is Jagat Pita. Because he is Jagat Pita, his consort is Jaganmata. So this being Jaganmata, now because she is Jaganmata, he has compassion towards all the Jivatmas. This motherly affection is present towards all Atmas. Even in our own families, we can see when we need something, we usually go to the mother and ask. We don't directly go and approach the father and request. Again, maybe these days things may be changing, but traditionally this is the general approach. The children will have some fear for father. They will be afraid to ask certain things from the father, so they will go through the mother and they will get their things done. Similarly, when the when Bhagavan is not going to accept us all the time, when he is going to either accept us or reject us, we don't know. When such doubt exists, the only option for Jivatmas is to go through Sri Mahalakshmi, who is Jaganmata. Because she is Jaganmata, because she has this motherly connection, she has krupai. Krupai is compassion, this mercy. Because of this mercy, she is known as purushakAram. Because of this compassion, we freely go and approach this motherly Sri Mahalakshmi. And she is also having pArathanthryam. When she has pArathanthryam, that is, she is totally dependent on Bhagavan. As she is the Patni of Bhagavan, Pati, Patni. Pati means one who is supremely independent, Swatantra. Patni means Paratantra, fully dependent on Pati. That is the definition for Pati and Patni. Because she is the Patni of Vishnu, Bhagavan, she has direct access to Bhagavan. She does not need anyone in between. Everyone else goes through her, but she does not need anyone for her to approach Bhagavan. She can directly approach, being the divine consort of Bhagavan. So, in that case, when Bhagavan may show anger and say Shipami, Nakshamami. So, these are from Bhagavad Gita and from Puranams, where Bhagavan says, I punish those who are committing offenses. Those who are evil, I push them into further in this samsaram. So, when Bhagavan has such anger at times, it is not that Bhagavan is always angry, he is also trying so much for our upliftment. He is trying since time immemorial to help the Jivatmas, but at times he goes by Shastram and based on that he has to act. Based on Shastram he has to act. And based on that, if somebody commits too many offenses, he punishes them. That is his natural duty, that is his responsibility, so he cannot avoid that. When such Bhagavan's um, heart is hardened sometimes, at that time Pirati is the one who goes and recommends the case of Jivatmas and makes him accept. So such purushakAra vaibhavam is explained in this particular Sri Ramayanam. That is the first section. And then when such Pirati goes and recommends to Bhagavan, now Bhagavan becomes pleased by Pirati's words, and he sees the Jivatma who is approaching him, and he accepts that Jivatma. After accepting, it is Bhagavan who is going to give them the ultimate result. So he is the upAyam. upAyam is that which takes us to the closer to the goal. Bhagavan is the one who is taking us closer to the goal. Nobody can do it. Nobody else can do it. Nobody can grant the ultimate result of Paramapadam. Even Pirati can take us to Bhagavan and request Bhagavan to accept us. But it is ultimately Bhagavan's choice to accept us or not. So because he is the one who is accepting us and granting the final result, he is known as upAyam. So what is the nature of Bhagavan? Now we just saw that Bhagavan may sometimes go through Shastram and reject us. But his true nature is also compassion only. But he has to abide by Shastram, because if Shastram is not respected by Bhagavan, then nobody else will respect it. So he respects Shastram and he follows the process as said in Shastram. When Pirati recommends a Jivatma, Bhagavan accepts that Jivatma, and after that acceptance, even if Pirati herself comes and tells Bhagavan, I think this person whom you accepted is not up to the mark. Maybe we should just reject him. If she says, Bhagavan is of the nature, he is so compassionate that here Pasuram is quoted from Periyalvar Tirumadi, Ennadiyar Adisayyar, Kannadiyar Tirattagattu Tamarayal Agilum Sidagurekku மேல் Ennadiyar Adisayyar. So, when Pirati, who unites Jivatma and Paramatma, even if she goes and complains to Bhagavan about a Jivatma, saying this Jivatma's conduct may not be good, I think we may have done a mistake here. If she says that, Bhagavan will reply to her saying, no, no, you are wrong, Pirati. My devotee will not do anything wrong. He will only be always in the good path. So I cannot reject him. I will protect him always. This is we can remember from Bhagavan's promise, Bhagavan's vow. Sakrideva prapannaya tavasmi disyachate abhayam sarva bhutebhyo dadami yetat vratam mama. I protect Jivatma from everyone. The one who surrenders unto me, I protect such person from everyone, including from myself. Even I will not tolerate myself rejecting him at any point. So I will protect him. I will protect such Jivatma all times. So that is the nature of Bhagavan. So he is the upAya Bhuta. He is the one who grants the ultimate result and he protects the Jivatma. upAyam means, being upAyam means, we have already seen this in Mumukshupadi, being upAyam, being Rakshakam, all of these were explained there. Rakshakam means giving Anishtanivriti and Ishtaprapti, eliminating what is undesirable for the one who is depending, one who is surrendering, and granting what is desirable. So both are task of Bhagavan only. Nobody else can do Anishtanivriti and Ishtaprapti. Only Bhagavan can do Anishtanivriti and Ishtaprapti. That is protection, that is his Rakshakatvam, that is his upAyatvam. And that upAyatvam is present only in Bhagavan. So that is the first section in the commentary. Now Mamnigal goes on to explain, instead of saying, why did this is where we have seen this before also, why does Pillalokacharya use particular words? For example, here with Sri Ramayanam and Mahabharatam, purushakAra vaibhavam and upAya vaibhavam solliRRAyththu. purushakAra vaibhavam and upAya vaibhavam are explained. That is what the Sutram says. Now, Mamnigal asks, why did Pillalokacharya use purushakAra vaibhavam and upAya vaibhavam? Why didn't he use ivai iraNdAlum with these two? Pirati's greatness and Perumal's greatness are explained. Why didn't he say that? That is because these are nirupakam. purushakAram is nirupakam for Pirati. Nirupakam means identity. She is clearly identified by purushakAram, being the one who recommends the Jivatma and unites the Jivatma with Bhagavan. That is her role. That is her primary identity. Similarly, upAyam is Bhagavan's primary identity. Nobody else can say, I am the upAyam. Only Bhagavan can say. Because these are clear identities, These are distinguished identities of Pirati and Bhagavan. These particular words are used. For Pirati, purushakAram is used, and for Perumal, for Bhagavan, upAyam is used. Now, Mamnigal quotes several shlokams from Sri Pancharatra Bhagavad Shastram. Pancharatram is known as Bhagavad Shastram because Bhagavan himself directly explained Pancharatra Shastram. In that, there are some quotes are highlighted by Mamnigal, which establishes that Pirati is Purushakara Bhutam, Purushakara Bhutai, and Perumal is upAyam. So, for example, here 75th number. Matraptim pratijantuna samsare baddhamayah Lakshmi Purushakaratve nirtishta paramarshibhihi mamapi cha matham hetan nanyatha rakshanam bhavet. So in this shlokam, Pirati, this is Bhagavan himself saying, Pirati is said to be the Purushakara Bhutai, one who performs Purushakaram to reach me. She helps Jivatmas to approach me, and I only accept her. This is Bhagavan saying, I only accept her as Purushakaram, and I don't accept her in any other roles. So Bhagavan clearly saying that Pirati's role is Purushakaram only. No other role does she play. She only plays the role of Purushakaram. So that is one pramanam. There are similar pramanams which are explained here, where Bhagavan says, I am the upAyam and Pirati is the purushakAram. The other aspects cannot be accepted. So these pramanams are clearly establishing these aspects. And not only that, Mamnigal also quotes Nanjiyar's, Vadikesari Alimanajiyar's reference in his, we already saw this Deepa Sangraham. There is a particular grantham which is composed by Vadikesari Alimanajiyar, which in which he explains the same principle. Pirati is Purushakara Bhuta and Bhagavan is upAyam. Even this Purushakaram is primarily available only for Sri Mahalakshmi. It is because of her Purushakaram, others acquire their Purushakaratvam from Pirati only. For example, in some places we see, if we see an example, it will be clear. In Ramavataram, Bhagavan's main consort is Sita Devi, who is Sri Mahalakshmi Tayar. In Varahavataram, Bhagavan's main consort is Bhumi Devi, Bhumi Pirati. In Krishnavataram, even though Rukmini Pirati is the main consort, Napinai Pirati is given more importance and she is glorified in Tirupavai as the Purushakara Bhutai. She is the one who is taking us to Krishna. That is what Andal Nachar shows. So we see that in some cases Bhumi Pirati is Purushakara Bhutai. We see that Napinai Pirati is Purushakara Bhutai. Nitya series are sometimes said as Purushakara Bhutai, doing Purushakaram. Acharyas are said to be doing the same task as Pirati. Pirati's representative in this world are Acharyas because they take us to Bhagavan. They connect us with Bhagavan. So in those cases, many personalities seem to have Purushakaram, this quality of Purushakaratvam. But all of those personalities, they acquire their Purushakaratvam from Pirati. But Purushakaratvam is naturally present in Pirati. She does not acquire it from anyone else. It is naturally present in Pirati. So this principle is very important. Similarly, upAyatvam. Bhagavan has upAyatvam. This upAyatvam is natural in Bhagavan. It is a natural quality of Bhagavan. But others, sometimes we say Acharya is the For example, here in this Grantham, the last section talks about Guru being, Acharya being the upAyam. But that is also derived from Bhagavan only. It is because Acharyas are considered the lotus feet of Bhagavan, hence they are considered as upAyam. So, in all cases, purushakArathvam is a natural quality of Pirati, and anyone else who is having purushakArathvam, they derive this purushakArathvam from Periya Piratiyar, Sri Mahalakshmi Tayar only. She is the source of purushakArathvam. Similarly, upAyatvam is natural quality of Bhagavan, it is only present in Bhagavan. Sometimes we see others are treated as upAyam, others are glorified as upAyam. That is because they derive that upayatvam from Bhagavan. So that particular principles are also established by Manavada Mamnigal in this beautiful commentary. Krishnam Dharmam Sanatanam is quoted here. Krishnam Dharmam Sanatanam is Bhagavan is the eternal Dharmam. He is the eternal upayam. He is the eternal means. Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. Bhagavan says, you give up all the upayams and pursue me. Because Dharmam there is a word which points to upayam. Upayam means the process through which we can attain Bhagavan. When Bhagavan says give up all the upayams, all the dharmams, it means give up all the upayams and consider me, Krishna, as the upayam. So that particular Krishna is glorified as Krishnam Dharmam Sanatanam. This Krishna is the eternal dharmam in Mahabharatam. So that is also quoted here. So Bhagavan has upayatvam as natural quality. Pirati has purushakarathvam as natural quality. The other aspects are not directly acceptable in any of them, because some say Pirati has upayatvam, some say others may have upayatvam, but they are not directly present in any of these personalities. Pirati's role is purushakaratvam, Bhagavan's role is upayatvam. That is explained by Mamnigal here. Now the next section, next part in the Vyakhyanam, Mamnigal beautifully links how Vedantam principles are highlighted in this particular Sri Ramayanam and Mahabharatam. Now, what are the Vedanta principles? Purushakaratvam and upayatvam. We have seen that. Purushakaratvam and upayatvam are the main principles of Vedantam, which we need to understand. And Pillai Lokacharya is showing these two. Now, this purushakaratvam and upayatvam, where are they explained in Vedam? That is the question here. Because the point here is, whatever is present in Vedam and Vedantam, those are explained in Smriti, Itihasams and Puranams. So now we have already seen that whatever is explained in Vedam, that is for the worship of Bhagavan, that takes the back seat. Now about Bhagavan, where is it explained? It is explained in Vedantam. That is the Upanishads which speak about Bhagavan. Now that principles which are explained in Vedantam are explained in Itihasams and Puranams. Now we are seeing Itihasams. Puranams also have these principles, but now our focus is on Itihasams. In the Itihasams, Pillai Lokacharya says purushakAra vaibhavamum and upAya vaibhavamum are explained. Now we are back to the original question. These purushakAra vaibhavamum and upAya vaibhavamum, these principles, first they have to be in Vedantam. Then only we can say that whatever is explained in Vedantam, that is explained in Itihasams. That is what Mamnigal is trying to establish here. So that connection is very important. That is what is being established by Mamnigal here. Let us see that connection. So in Vedantam, in Kathavalli Upanishad, Dvaya Mahamantram is explained. This Dvaya Mahamantram is the fundamental principle for our Sri Vaishnava Sampradayam. If we look at many of these granthams, many of these prabandhams, there is a lot of dependency on Dvaya Mahamantram. This Dvaya Mahamantram is present in Kathavalli Upanishad. And this Kathavalli Upanishad explains these two. Dvayam means two. Two sentences are there. Sriman Narayana Charano Sharanam Prapadhye Srimate Narayanaya Namaha. Now in the Upanishad, they are not together. First, Sriman Narayana Charano Sharanam Prapadhye is in one place. Afterwards, subsequently, we see in another place, Srimate Narayana Namaha. Our acharyas have taken the two sentences and joined them and presented them so that the whole essence is present in these two sentences. They are known as sentences or vakyams, purva vakyam, uttara vakyam. That is what usually they are referred to as first sentence and second sentence, former sentence, later sentence. So these two are the ones which talk about purushakAratvam and upayatvam. So that is the principle which is present in Upanishad, and these principles are explained in Itihasam. So this connection is shown by Mamnigal in this Vyakhyanam. So the Dvaya Mahamantram's explanation is Tiruvaimuri. Dvaya Mantram is another explanation is Srivachana bhUshaNam, because Tiruvaimuri is the foundation for Srivachana bhUshaNam also. So all of these are interconnected, and we also saw in the beginning of Srivachana bhUshaNam in the introduction itself that Srivachana bhUshaNam is the explanation for Dvaya Mahamantram. Whatever is given in Dvaya Mahamantram, that is explained in detail in Srivachana bhUshaNam. So this whatever is in the Dvaya Mahamantram, that is purushakAratvam and upayatvam. These are explained in the Vedantam, and they are explained further in Sri Mahabharatam and Sri Ramayana. Sri Ramayana and Sri Mahabharatam. So that is again shown, that connection is established, and finally another question is explained. Another particular aspect is explained by Mahamnigal. The Jivatma has equal relationship with Bhagavan and Pirati. Pirati is Mata, Bhagavan is Pita. Just like we have father and mother, we have equal relationship with both of them. Now, why is that purushakAratvam required? Why cannot we directly approach Bhagavan? That is the question which is being raised again here. It was briefly explained previously also, but Mamnigal finally concludes by explaining this particular principle in rather clearer terms. Both have equal relationship. Bhagavan and Pirati have equal relationship. One is father, another is mother. Now, because mother has more vatsalyam. Now, the term vatsalyam itself, the meaning is motherly love, motherly care. Just like a cow has love towards its calf. So, the term itself is associated with mother. So, this vatsalyam is more in mother. And this vatsalyam is related to mother only. Pita generally will be strict. He would want to give what is the best for the child. Mother will be generally relaxed. She will be more loving and caring, and she will let the child be a little bit relaxed. She will pamper the child, and she will give what is desired by the child. So, because of that aspect, that is the first aspect shown. Because of this particular aspect, the child or the Jivatma here has more affinity towards approaching Pirati than approaching Bhagavan. And Bhagavan has both Katinyam and Mardhavam. He is hard at sometimes, he is strict. When he sees Shastram, he says, I will only act according to Shastram. I don't care whether you surrender to me or not. I will only act according to Shastram. If you have done mistakes previously, I will punish you. Then I will give you whatever benediction. First, I have to give punishment. But he is also tender, and he is also very loving at times. But Pirati is always having Mardhavam only. He is always tender. She is always caring, and she is always loving. Because of this, she cannot tolerate the suffering of her children. She cannot tolerate the suffering of the Jivatmas. Because of that, and again, there is another point which is identified. She will make even those who turn away their faces from Bhagavan, she will make them turn towards Bhagavan. By being a good mother, by being a good caring mother, she will somehow engage with the child and make the child go towards Bhagavan, make the Jivatma go towards Bhagavan. And then she is also, even those who have done abominable sins, when they see Pirati, they will think, oh, I can approach her confidently. She, being a mother, she will not abandon me, she will not scold me, she will not um, despise me for whatever mistakes I've committed. But when they go to Bhagavan, they will have all this fear. What if he punishes me? What if he scolds me, and so on? So anyone will feel comfortable at the lotus feet of Pirati because she's got this motherly composition. Her disposition is very motherly, and then because of these reasons, she is more approachable, and she is also willing to do the purushakAram to unite the Atma with Bhagavan. So that is her aspects. And then Bhagavan's aspects are highlighted, which are opposite to Pirati's aspects. She is always, while she is always tender, while she is always caring, Bhagavan, being a man, being masculine, he will sometimes be hard, and being a father, he will look at the well being, not always just the happiness of the child. He will look at the long term welfare of the child, and then he will also look at the mistakes done by the Jivatma and give punishments for every one of these sins. For example, we commit many sins and we think that some of them may be missed by Bhagavan sometimes, but that is not the case. Bhagavan keeps track of every single sin, every single act, whether it is good or bad, of every single Jivatma, and he gives adequate result for every Jivatma. He is obviously he is omniscient, Sarvagya, and hence he knows everyone's good deeds and bad deeds, and he gives results based on every act of the Jivatma. No, none of the acts will go unanswered. Whatever acts we have done, we will get the result for that. And he will remain fearful. He will remain fearsome for those who have done mistakes. Those who have done mistakes, they will look at Bhagavan and they will think, how can I go and approach him? How can I go and request him? Because he is going to punish me if he sees my mistakes. So, because of these aspects, it is not easy for the Jivatma to directly approach Bhagavan, but it will be easy for the Jivatma to approach Pirati. And finally, it is also highlighted that Bhagavan will be made to forget all the mistakes done by Jivatma, by Pirati, by apt deeds. She will make him forget. She will give some good instructions to Bhagavan saying, you cannot think about the mistakes done by the Jivatma, you have to forgive him, and so on. And if he doesn't agree, she will show her love towards Bhagavan and mesmerize him, and then make him accept the Jivatma. The love between Bhagavan and Pirati is wholly for the sake of upliftment of the Jivatmas. Their love is not like worldly love. Their love is fully for the caring of caring towards all the Jivatmas. So that is her role, and because of these particular reasons, the Jivatma always should go through Pirati so that he gets success in his endeavor. So that is explained elaborately by Mamnigal in this particular sutram. This is sixth sutram. Now we will go on to the seventh sutram. Now purushakAram is explained further by Pililokacharya's sutram. Um, this is just the first of several sutrams where the greatness of Pirati is highlighted. So first, the important qualities of one who is having this role of purushakAram, those particular qualities are highlighted in this particular sutram. Let us see the sutram first. purushakAramAmbOdhu krupaiyum pArathanthryamum ananyArhathvamum vENum. So 3 qualities are defined here for the one who is having purushakAratvam. That quality of purushakAratvam, when somebody is the purushakara bhuta, these 3 qualities are expected in that particular person. And how that is present in Pirati is explained in this particular Sutram's vENum. Let us see the Vyakyanam of Mamnigal. So these 3 qualities, krupai, pArathanthryam, ananyArhathvam. Krupai means compassion. pArathanthryam means total surrender, total dependence. ananyArhathvam means existing purely for the person whom we are dependent on. So these 3 qualities are very much required in those who have to be, those who do the role of purushakAram. Those who have the quality of purushakAratvam, they need to have these 3 qualities. That is the simple meaning for the Sutram. Let us see the explanation given by Mamnigal in his beautiful commentary. So purushakAramAmbOdhu, that means while being the purushakara bhutha, while being the person who is performing purushakaram. Now the 3 qualities are explained by Mamnigal. Krupai means paradukka asahishnutvam. Paradukka means suffering of others. Asahishnutvam means being unable to tolerate. So krupai means, what is compassion? Compassion means not being able to tolerate others' sufferings. Now this other is generally jivatmas. Jivatmas are suffering in this ocean of samsara forever. For looking at their suffering, Pirati is very much disturbed. She is unable to tolerate that suffering. It can also be explained that she cannot tolerate Bhagavan's suffering of being separated from Jivatma, and because Bhagavan wants to be united with every Jivatma, so she is facilitating that. But the primary meaning is suffering of Jivatmas. That suffering of Jivatmas is not tolerated by Pirati because having this quality of kripai. And then Parathanthryam means paradhinatvam, being totally under the control of others, other person here is Bhagavan. So this paradhinatvam is required. Only if paradhinatvam is there, only if Parathanthryam is there, the other person will listen to us. If Pirati tells something to Bhagavan, he will obviously listen to Pirati because he knows that Pirati does not have anyone else to go and report these things or go and speak about these things. He knows very well that Pirati can only go to him and request for any of these. And then ananyArhathvam means not being present for anyone else other than the said person. So here Pirati is existing solely for Bhagavan. She does not exist for anyone else. Other than Bhagavan, she does not exist for anyone else. She only exists for Bhagavan. So that aspect, that Vyarikta Vishaya Anarhathvam, not being present, not being accessible, for not being existing for anyone other than Bhagavan. So that is ananyArhathvam. So these 3 qualities are mandatory in one who is being the purushakAram. Now, why are these 3 qualities required for purushakAratvam? That is explained subsequently. The one who has to perform purushakaram, when that person sees all the jivatmas suffering in the material world, they must feel that suffering. Only if they feel that suffering and if they feel compassionate, they can perform purushakaratvam. Hence, krupai is required. And then, why is Parathanthryam required? We have seen it briefly, but Mamnigal is explaining it very elaborately and nicely. When one is trying to attract the Swatantra, Bhagavan is Swatantran, he is totally independent. If one needs to attract such Swatantran, such independent person, they need to show Parathanthryam. they have to manifest this quality of Parathanthryam, that they are totally dependent on him. Only then that Swatantra will become attracted. That independent person will be attracted towards someone who is totally dependent on him. If I say that I am also independent, then he will come at he will start a battle with us. So when we accept that we are totally dependent, then he will surely care for whatever we say. So Parathanthryam is required for purushakAram. And then finally, ananyArhathvam, existing purely for Bhagavan is very much required, so that Bhagavan will know that only he has to fulfill these responsibilities, fulfill these duties. Otherwise, he may think that they are existing for somebody else also. For example, if you take the worldly situation, there is a mother. Mother exists for husband, mother exists for in-laws, mother exists for her parents, mother exists for her children, and so on. Similarly, the father is also existing for wife, children, parents, and so on. So, but in this particular cases, we see that there is um, multiple controllers and multiple persons whom the person is existing, this world person is existing for. But Pirati's case, when she is ananyArham, that means she only purely exists for Bhagavan, and because of that, Bhagavan will obviously think, I am the only person for her and I have to take care of her desires. So, all these three qualities are very much required, and these are present in Pirati, and that is explained further. Now, what is the greatness of Pirati's krupai than Bhagavan's krupai? Bhagavan also has krupai, is apara karunya, that is explained by Bhagavan in Sharanagati Gadyam. Apara karunya, one who has unlimited compassion. So, Bhagavan also has krupai. Pirati also has krupai. What is the difference between the krupai of Bhagavan and krupai of Pirati? That is explained by Mamnigal here. Bhagavan is Swatantra. So, his krupai sometimes may be subdued by his Swatantriyam. He is totally independent. He looks at Jivatmas and he sometimes decides, I am going to punish this person as per his deeds. Without leaving any one of his deeds, he will punish. And hence, at that stage, his krupai is subdued, his mercy is subdued. But Bhagavan's krupai is sometimes visibly present, sometimes subdued. But Pirati's krupai never becomes subdued. It is always present, it is always manifested. She is anugrahika Sheela. She is always filled with compassion only, mercy only. Because her compassion is never subdued, and she even instructs, advises enemies with compassion, her kripa is greatness. So her kripa will even flow over the borders. For example, Bhagavan has certain viewpoints. Jivatma has certain viewpoints. They are like two banks of a particular river. Now, Pirati's Krupai will flow over these two banks and make them disappear and unite the Jivatma and Paramatma. He brings the Jivatma closer to Paramatma in this particular manner. So, Ishvara Krupai is great, but Pirati's Krupai is much greater. And further, Pirati's Parathanthryam towards Bhagavan and ananyArhathvam towards Bhagavan, they are not only just natural Parathanthryam and natural ananyArhathvam, they are also Patnitva Parathanthryam and ananyArhathvam. Even Patni, even in general, as per Shastram, Patni is totally subservient to Pati. The husband is the leader and the wife should be the follower. That is the norm as per Shastram. So, ananyArhathvam also, the Patni should exist purely for the pati only. So even in this particular case, because Bhagavan is pati and Pirati is patni, that patnitva, because of that patnitvam, because of being the divine consort, that particular Parathanthryam and ananyArhathvam is also present for Pirati. Already natural Parathanthryam and ananyArhathvam, because Bhagavan is supreme Paramatma, he is already having total control over Pirati and all other Jivatmas, but specifically Pirati being Patni of Bhagavan, as said in Hrishate Lakshmishcha Patnyau. Bhagavan has both Sri Mahalakshmi and Bhumi Devi as divine consorts. Vishnu Patni is specifically for Sri Mahalakshmi in this particular shlokam, Vishnu Patni. And then in many other places, Ahanta Brahmanastasya Sahamasmi Sanatani. This is from Sri Bhagavad Shastram, this is Pancharatra Agamam, where Bhagavan is saying that Pirati is like my Ahanta, she is like my thoughts, she is like my emotions, she is totally attached to me. Srivachana Nityasri, she is always in my divine chest. Pirati is always on the divine chest of Bhagavan. So in all of these aspects, both the first two are, for example, Hrishate Lakshmishcha Patni and Vishnu Patni are for Patnitva, Parathanthryam and ananyArhathvam. Because of being Bhagavan's divine consort, she has Parathanthryam and ananyArhathvam. And also, naturally, there is a relationship of Parathanthryam and ananyArhathvam for Pirati towards Bhagavan, as said in this Ahanta Brahmanastasya Sahamasmi Sanatani. Pirati is my Ahanta. She is my thoughts. She is my emotions. She is my representation. And Srivatsavaksha Nityasri, she is always with me. Pirati is always with me. Based on these, also, she has got both ways of Parathanthryam and ananyArhathvam. So, in either case, though Jivatma is subservient to Pirati and Bhagavan, Mitanisheshatvam is very important. Once we surrender, we are going to be serving Bhagavan and Pirati together only. Still, while approaching Bhagavan, Pirati's purushakAratvam is most important because she is the one who ensures that we will reach Bhagavan. So that purushakAratvam is present naturally, and because she has got this natural Parathanthryam and ananyArhathvam, she doesn't need any other purushakAratvam. She does not need anyone else recommending her. She has got the direct connection to Bhagavan. Everyone else is subservient to Bhagavan and Pirati, but Pirati alone is subservient to Bhagavan separately. So this greatness is present for Pirati only. This Abhyavatana, this direct, without any intermediary, Pirati is connected to Bhagavan. Because of this, she does not need anything else to attract Bhagavan towards us. Bhagavan can be easily attracted towards Bhagavan because of this intimate, direct connection between Bhagavan and Pirati. So, based on these three qualities, krupai, parathanthryam, ananyArhathvam are required for purushakAratvam, and that these three qualities are present in Pirati. How they are present, they are going to be explained in the next sutram. How she manifested these, they are going to be explained. That is going to be explained in the next sutram. Before that, in the end, Mamnigal beautifully concludes one particular aspect. This Sri is one of the Sri is the primary name of Pirati. Pirati's primary name is Sri Mahal. In that, Sri is the main aspect. The Sri directly points Pirati, Sri Mahalakshmi. The Shri word has a root, that is Shring. Shring is the root word which means Sevayam, servitude. Now this has two explanations. One is service to others and dependence towards others, and being served by others. So these three qualities, Krupai, Parathanthryam, ananyArhathvam, where are they possessed? based on this two aspects. Shrink has two aspects, service to other and being served by others. That is explained finally by Mamnigal. Krupai says that Pirati is worshipped by all the Jivatmas. Asyeshanam Jagataha Vishnupatni. Asyeshanam Jagataha means she is the leader of all of the world. But she is Patni of Vishnu. So she is totally subservient to Vishnu. At the same time, she is being worshipped by everyone else. So these two aspects are explained here. When she is worshipped by everyone else, that is because she has Krupai. Now she is totally dependent on Bhagavan. She is Vishnu Patni, and that reflects in pArathanthryam and ananyArhathvam. So these three qualities relate to these two aspects. Shrink Sevayam meaning servitude. Others are serving her because she has Krupai. She is serving Bhagavan and hence she has pArathanthryam and ananyArhathvam. So this particular principle is also explained based on the root word. Again, this is like Shriyate and Shriyate. These two are active voice and passive voice, and they relate to Pirati being served and Pirati serving Bhagavan. So those relate to Krupai and pArathanthryam and ananyArhathvam. So that is also explained. Now all of these are explained in the Sriman Shabdam, that Matupu Shabdam, that explains all of these aspects. How Pirati is serving without separating Bhagavan and how she is ensuring that Jivatmas are united with Bhagavan. All of those are explained in Matupu. We have already seen that in Mumukshupadi in great detail. We can remember what was discussed there. So this is seventh Sutram. With this, we will complete today's discussion. We will see the next set of sutrams in the next session. The session will be on next Saturday. Yeah, next Saturday we will have, as usual, at 11:30 in the morning. ஆழ்வார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், எம்பெருமானார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், பிள்ளை லோகாச்சாரிய திருவடிகளே சரணம், ஜீய திருவடிகளே சரணம், ஜீய திருவடிகளே சரணம். We will recite பல்லாண்டு and complete the session. பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு பல்லாயிரத்தாண்டு பல கோடி நூறாயிரம் மல்லாண்டு திங்கள்மணி வண்ணாவும் சேவடி செவிதிரு காப்படியோம் மூடும் நோடும் திருவெண்டி ஆயிரம் பல்லாண்டு வடிவாய் நல்வளமார்பினில் வாழ்கின்ற மங்கையும் பல்லாண்டு வடிவார் சோதி வளத்துறையும் சுடராழியும் பல்லாண்டு படைப்போர் குக்குமணங்கும் அப்பாஞ்சி சன்னியமும் பல்லாண்டே. We will have our routine sessions from tomorrow morning Periya Tirumozhi and evening Nachiyar Tirumozhi. Pretty soon we will be starting Srivachana bhUshaNam Santai and Tamil explanation also. Once the morning Periya Tirumozhi sessions, this current batch is over, the next batch we will start Srivachana bhUshaNam in the morning session, daily basis 11:30. We will have Srivachana bhUshaNam Santai and then meanings. In the evening session, we are going to complete Nachiyar Tirumozhi, next Padigam, 6th Padigam's Vyakyanam. Once that is done, we will start another new batch, something which is going to be taught during Anadhyana Kalam. Adiyan will announce that soon as well. Okay, Adiyan Ramandasan. Morning timings will be 11:30 to 1 o'clock. Evening timings will be 7:30 to 8:30. Evening we have not decided what it is going to be, but morning it will be Srivachana bhUshaNam Santai and meanings.